About a month ago, I made a video called Top 10 Reasons to Play GTA 4. One of the reasons specifically covered the beauty of Liberty City and how it's very fitting for GTA 4's story. But in this video, I wanted to see how far we can go to renovate the city with a few mods. Some renovations include the complete construction of various buildings, transportation platforms, and perhaps providing a few touch-ups along with more accessible interiors. All the mods showcased in this video are linked in the description below and have been verified to work with versions 1070, 1080, and the Complete Edition. Some of these mods may also be compatible with version 1040 or earlier, but I'd recommend checking out each mod's README file for that information. We'll first cover an important aspect of the city, that being transportation. Let's kick this off with the LTA Subway Overhaul mod by Meesmoth, a mod that not only improves the overall look and feel of the subway stations and trains in game, but also resembles its real-life counterpart, that being New York City. It does this by replacing all the in-game subway signs, ditching the blue and white for a sleek black and white look, and updating the text to show accurate street names for both where you are and where you're headed next. The subway trains were also retextured to reflect the R38 trains in real life. But not only did the textures get improved, the subway audio announcements were also replaced with improved versions. Instead of using the station names tied to the various districts, the mod now uses the corresponding in-game street names. Here's a comparison between both the vanilla and modded audio.
This is the 3 train. The next stop is Schottler Station.
This is Fireflyland. This is a 3 train. The next stop is Sundance Street.
And that's not all. You might have noticed that the subway trains sound different. In case you didn't notice it, have a listen. The modded one sounds pretty cool, doesn't it? In actuality, the audio was changed to closely resemble the real-life R38 train sounds. But even so, I think it's pretty cool because it really improves the immersion. On the topic of transportation in Meesmoth's mods, he also made one called Faithful Buses, which basically repaints the green decals on the in-game buses to blue. The goal of the mod was to make the buses resemble their real-life counterpart, that again being New York City. I'd also recommend getting his corrected taxi textures. It basically fixes a small detail by changing the taxi label from LCC to the more accurate LC, just as it's supposed to be. And if you're looking to completely overhaul the taxis, then I'd recommend getting GCT's 2nd Gen Vapid Standard Pack and then applying Meesmoth's fixes on top of it. Now on to the next important aspects of the city, that being fast food chains, restaurants, and entertainment. These next 4 mods that I'm about to showcase were all developed by Scott 1. It's no surprise that GTA 4 stands out for featuring accessible interiors in its restaurants, like Burger Shot and Cluckin. These are things that people like me wish to see in GTA 5, but obviously it didn't happen. But would you happen to know that there are a couple of locations in GTA 4 that are completely defunct? That's right, and the first one is in Alderney, specifically in Bircham. This one is hard to notice at first glance, but it's positioned right behind a construction zone on Babbage Drive. But thanks to Scott 1, we officially have our first accessible Cluckin in Alderney. Yeah, there actually wasn't one in Alderney to begin with. The mod has exactly what any other normal Cluckin would have in the game. Working staff, customers filling up the place and eating at their tables, a cashier who'll give you a foul burger for $1, and well, you know the rest. The second location is in Algonquin over in Northwood, just across from the basketball court. I did showcase this one a couple of years back, but I felt that it's worth mentioning again. After all, we are talking about renovating the city with mods, right? Anyways, similar to the Alderney Cluckin interior, this one now has an accessible interior with the same features. Now, if you've played through the story before, you might remember a place called Drusilla's. This is in fact Ray Bocchino's restaurant, and it's featured in several cutscenes across both GTA 4 and The Lost and Damned. The interior of this restaurant is just absolutely remarkable. But here's the weird part about it, right? Here the cutscenes show the interior, and you can see the outside from its front-facing windows on the inside. Yet, if you go to the same windows from the outside in free roam, all you get is just a fake, lifeless version of the restaurant's interior? Hell, you can't even go inside the restaurant. Why Rockstar never made this interior accessible is anyone's guess. But thanks to Scott 1's ingenuity, we now have full access to the interior and can freely explore every part of it. And as an added bonus, the mod also opens up the basement area as seen during the final moments of The Lost and Damned. Similar to Scott 1's other mods, the restaurant is sometimes filled with customers and working staff. Now, if you've spent just enough time in GTA 4, you probably remember this comedy club in Algonquin, Split Sides. There is a similar venue in the game, which is the Perestroika Cabaret Club in Hove Beach. The structural difference between the two clubs is that the Perestroika has an accessible interior, but Split Sides doesn't. But I do have good news once again. Scott 1 has made it so that now we are able to fully access the club's interior, and you get to see much more than just a limited view during the live performances. You can see the bar in the background over there, the crowd in their seats ready for Cat Williams or Ricky Gervais to come out, and...
Damn you fool! Stay out of the way!
Yeah, you get the idea. Now moving on to the next set of mods, gas stations, police stations, and supermarkets. Yes, you heard that correctly. Supermarkets, like the ones you see in GTA 5. This was surprisingly not introduced into GTA 4, but now it is with FE Mod's 24/7 supermarket interior mod that's located in Hove Beach. This store has always been in Hove Beach all this time, but it now has an interior that has a similar layout as the 24/7 supermarkets that you see in GTA 5. It's got some cool interactive stuff too. You can walk up and grab a soda from the vending machine inside, or just be a troll and rob the cash register. Speaking of supermarkets, there's an insanely massive project in the works called Liberty Alive by Nabo45 and Scott 1. It includes interiors for most of the convenience stores at gas stations like Ron Oil and Tur Oil, and they come with a bunch of lore-friendly props and NPCs to make it feel more alive. Yeah, no pun intended. You can actually see the few that are showcased on display, like the Ron Oil gas station in Hove Beach, the Tur Oil in Lancaster, the Ron Oil gas station near Brucey's apartment in Boabo, and even the Ron Oil gas station near the Masonette 9 nightclub. Again, these are just a few that are in the game, but there are many more. The project recently received an update in February 2025 called V2 Busted, which added an interior for the Suffolk Police Station. You'll see some cops working desk duty, while some of the others are just hanging around ambiently both inside and outside the station. The creators are actually developing this with LCPDFR compatibility in mind, which might be intriguing for the people who play the mod to this day. Like I said, the mod is still receiving updates in 2025, so definitely be on the lookout for future versions. Do you remember earlier when I showed how some of the interiors let you see the outside from the inside, but not the other way around? I showed it earlier with Drusilla's, but there are a few more spots like that. Roman's Cab Depot in Hove Beach is a great example. You can see the outside from the inside, but not the inside from the outside. Well, that issue has been fixed thanks to a mod called More Visible Interiors by Attramet. Now you can actually see all those cutscene interiors from the outside. There are a couple of other spots as well, showing them as comparisons between the vanilla and the modded versions. Comrade's Bar in Hove Beach, and the 69th Diner in Hove Beach. While on the topic of Attramet's mods, I wanted to cover one more that actually might seem small, but is quite a significant change for the game. That being Restored Trees Precision. This basically restores a lot of the trees, plants and bushes that were originally part of the game during the game's beta phase. But just as Attramet assumed, this could have likely been removed due to having an effect on the performance. Another assumption was that it was removed on accident by the developers. Even so, I think it adds a lot more greenery and life to the game. Just to be clear though, this brings back a bit of the missing vegetation in the game, so things do look a lot denser. So, we've beautified Liberty City even more with these mods. It does go without saying that many of these mods are continually receiving updates at the time of this video's release. If you did enjoy this video, then please support it by hitting the like button and also subscribing to the channel. I cover a lot of GTA 4 content, especially when it comes to modding, so feel free to check out some of the other videos that you see up on the screen. With that said, thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you all next time.